I'm Tammy, and this is Collard Valley Cooks. We are making my sausage balls, and the last time I made these, they were dry to me. So I'm changing up the recipe. If you've got a volume 2 cookbook, you need to mark it up. In the new cookbook that's coming out, it will be correct already, okay? Instead of using 3/4 stick of butter, we'll be using the whole stick of butter to put a little bit more grease in it, because sausage that I use just don't have a lot of grease. Now, if you use a greasy sausage, you don't have to do that, but I use Swaggerty's. I'm using half mild and half hot, and I just melt this. I'm changing it up a little bit because I think I had you, no, I just told you to combine it. So we're going to melt this, and we've actually got some in the oven already. All right, so y'all are going to get to watch and then see us eat them as well. They have to cook for 25 minutes at 350 degrees. You want to make sure your sausage is done. One of the main things I think that people do, I'm also increasing the cheese in them. One of the main things I think that people do wrong with their sausage balls is they leave them out for a long time, and they forget that sausage balls are meat, and you really shouldn't leave them out for hours. I mean, you know, 3 or 4 hours max. Okay, and then you should refrigerate them. But I think some people just leave them out for a long time. Now we got that stick of butter in there, which is a half cup of butter. And I am not using fresh ingredients today, like onion and parsley. I am using spices. And I tell you to use a salad blend. I'm using Mrs. Dash. It doesn't have salt in it. You don't really want to use anything with salt in it. And I'm using a tablespoon of granulated onion. All right. And onion, it's just granulated onion, so it's like onion powder. And then the sausage. Now, we're going to use 2 cups of flour. And then we're going to mix this up really good by hand. Chris didn't like the way it turned out when I mixed it with the mixer the last time. He felt like it was overly done. Because when you have ground beef out at room temperature or sausage like this that's already ground, if you handle it for a long time, it does make the texture of it change. So we decided that we would do this by hand today, and I'll fix that in the recipe as well. But now if you want to go ahead and use your mixer, you can. I just wouldn't mix it a lot. All right. So there's our sausage, our butter. We got to put 2 eggs in here. And I think I got a few. I think I just might have a few eggs. What do you think? We'll make sure they're good. There's 1. This is a really big one. I don't really know if I want to use that whole egg. I guess I will. 2 eggs. So now I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to mix this first, then I'm going to put the flour in there. Okay? Well, I better put the flour in there because my hands will be all dirty if I don't. So it's 2 cups of flour. There's 1. And it's self-rising flour. And 2. But now these don't really rise. And then you got to mix it all up together. So y'all tell me how long it's been since you had a sausage ball. Some of y'all just make them for the holidays, and some of y'all make them for different things during the year. But we always have them at the holidays, and they're so good to have in the house. You can freeze them, and they're really good. Okay, so if you know you're going to have a party and you want to make some sausage balls, remember you can freeze them and then just warm them back up. Now this is you got to use your elbow grease, as Mama called it. And I think I about got it all in there. Now the cheese. I had Chris mix up the first batch. Now the original recipe that I gave you guys was 10 ounces of cheese. I'm using 16 ounces of cheese. We're going to make these even better than my original recipe. I have decided that it was not greasy enough. And, you know, it was just kind of dry. And the flavor was wonderful, but it was just a little dry. So I've increased the butter and I've increased the cheese. And so if you're just coming in, if you have our Volume 2 cookbook, if you're ordering the Master Cookbook, this will already be marked in there. Change on your sausage balls to use a stick of butter, which is a half cup, and 16 ounces of cheddar cheese instead of 10 ounces.
If you have the number 2.
Yes, if you have the number 2 cookbook. So that's 16 ounces of cheese and the full stick of butter. Sausage that's super fatty, got a lot of grease in it. You can omit the extra butter, but it ain't gonna hurt it because it's just gonna run out on the sheet pan, more than likely. You know what I mean? When they're cooking, if you got too much grease in them, if your sausage is real greasy, you should buy Swaggerty because then you wouldn't have to worry about it. But if your sausage for some reason is real greasy, that grease would just run out on the sheet pan. Don't those look good?
And you can tell I mixed up in the bowl and it was harder. The way you did it's easier.
Yes. Chris mixed the cheese in the bowl because I said, Chris, I can't do 2 batches of these. It's a lot of work. I mean, I could, but y'all would hear me breathing really hard. And so I poured the cheese in the bowl and he mixed it in the bowl. I told him he could put it out on the counter like this, but he didn't. But it is easier just to throw the cheese out on the counter and mix it on the counter. Plus, if you got the kids helping you, then it gives them something fun to do as well, if you want to let them mix it up. And I'm going to rinse off my hands. That's the first batch we made. And since these do freeze well, I said, let's just make 2 batches, and that way they don't have to wait forever to see the final product because it takes 25 minutes to bake them. Now, I'm going to turn these on convection that's already in the oven, and they'll be done just within a couple of minutes. And we can give them a taste. So the original recipe has 2 cups of flour, 2 eggs, a pound of sausage, half hot, half mild, 3/4 stick of butter, which I use the full stick. So that's a half cup of butter, 2 tablespoons of a Lighthouse freeze-dried salad blend, or you can use minced onion and parsley. But now I used a tablespoon of the original Mrs. Dash and a tablespoon of granulated onion. I thought that would be good in it. You can use anything you want to use in there, okay? You got a good garlic mix, or even if you want to use the ranch dressing mix, whatever you want to use. But the only thing about those is that they have salt in them, and there's so much salt already in all that cheese that you really don't need to use a blend that has salt. You can also take green onion and chop it up real fine and put green onion in it. It's really pretty. And if you don't want to do that, but you want the little green pieces in there for it to be pretty, throw in some parsley, or I can't think. Do I have some parsley? No. I was going to say chives. You know, some like chives. You could always throw them in there. And they'd be pretty too. So, all right. Y'all let us know where you're at tonight, if you're a football fan or not. Chris is a big football fan, okay? So he is watching football today. And if you have folks over to watch football, this is perfect. for them something really good to make is these sausage balls. Now I'm using a 2 tablespoon scooper and just scooping them instead of making balls. And it sure is quicker, let me tell you, than rolling them all into balls. And now they don't spread out, so you don't have to put them far apart. And if you get some around the edges like that, you can take it off if you want them to be pretty. But they smell so good. So, of course, me and Chris are having sausage balls for supper. Maybe we'll scramble an egg to go with them. Or just sit down and eat a bunch with something to drink. So the first batch I put in there has 16. So once I get all of these on there, we'll be able to tell about how many it's going to make.
You freeze them raw? Or,
you could freeze them raw. It wouldn't hurt nothing. Or you can cook them and then freeze them. However you want to do it, it's fine. If you cook them and freeze them, of course, you just warm them up on a sheet. I think they would be good either way. I mean, it's hard to beat a sausage ball. Everybody loves sausage and cheese and butter. So, yep, it's something most people do enjoy. But I did change it up a little bit. If you're just coming in, added more cheese and more butter.
they ask if you use Bisquick or flour.
Okay. I don't use Bisquick. I use self-rising flour and butter in these. So these are like what I call my homemade sausage balls, because most people use 2 cups of Bisquick, the cheese, which I think is 16 ounces in theirs, and the sausage. But in mine, you use the stick of butter, which is a 1/2 cup, the sausage, the pound of sausage, 16 ounces of cheese, 2 tablespoons of spices, whatever you want to use, and then 2 eggs. So ours is a homemade 2 cups of flour. Ours is a homemade sausage ball. It doesn't use the Bisquick. So you should have everything to make it if you've got the sausage and the cheese. You don't have to go out and buy Bisquick once a year just to make a sausage ball, if that's about the only thing you use it for. So they smell so good. So there is 16 more. Actually, that is, how many, Chris? That's 20. Actually, there's 20 on a sheet. So there's 20, and they're big. There's 20 in the oven, and there's 20 there. I think that's how many I put on this one.
I'll have enough for a quart.
Yes. And then we got this whole other batch to make. Oh, yeah. And I don't know why, but a sausage ball is never pretty. If you try to get a good picture of a sausage ball, it's almost impossible. I'll turn the light on, y'all, and just look at them here. It's almost impossible, but I do like to put the salad blend in there because it gives it just a tiny bit of color. And if you want to use a green onion, you can do that. Chop it up real little, and it gives it a little bit of color. But they look really good, but I don't want to get burnt. So I'm going to take one off. Let's go ahead and put these in, to put our timer on. Did I have that many on here? Yeah, 20. So that's 40, and they're big. And then I still got a few left to make. Y'all come on over and eat, Chris said. If you're a neighbor, come get you a sausage ball. All right, trying to decide what I want to do. I guess I'll just have one. I'm going to get one that's really brown. Ooh, they're really brown. I got to turn off that convection. That's what I got to do. All right. Let's half it in half because I don't want to get burnt. And they already look much better. They're already way more moist than they usually are. And I think they are going to be absolutely the bomb with the extra cheese and butter. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, last time they were kind of mushy.
Ooh, hot. Mm-hmm. That's a good sausage ball. Good, good, good. So, you know it's going to be better than the Bisquick recipe because you get to put the 2 tablespoons of spice in there. It's got butter in it and good old Swaggerty sausage, right? It's good stuff. Marcy, I bet you would love one of these. I'm going to let Chris taste one. He can handle when something's hot out of the oven better than I can.
Just leave that up.
No, I want you to tell him. We're going to let Chris taste. We can't figure out how to get these microphones to work for 2 people at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, last time they were a little mushy, kind of. And this time, they look good. They got chunks.
Chris didn't have on a microphone until now.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't they good?
It's going to be a good supper.
It is going to be a good supper.
All the sausage balls you can eat.
Yes. So, let me pick it up. Well, the cat's been playing with her toy in here in the kitchen floor. She follows me everywhere, even into the kitchen. Isn't that funny? We appreciate you watching Collard Valley Cooks. Remember, this master cookbook is going to have all my recipes. And if there's something that I want to tweak to make it even better, I have. So I have updated quite a few of the recipes to make them even better. Because to me, a recipe can always use a little improvement. We'll see you next time on Collard Valley Cooks, where we cook like our mamas did. Bye, y'all. We love ya.
And we're getting ready to make some more videos. We've been kind of slacking on our videos because Tammy's been working on the cookbook. But y'all get ready. We're getting ready to put out some content.
Wait, let me say this too. I want to make sure they hear me. I'm sure they can. I had somebody say that I had posted some reruns, and I went back and I counted in 4 months. We posted 56 new videos with 6 reruns. And there are some times when I just need to post a rerun for my health or whatever the reason. But because I've been working on the cookbook, I have been posting a few. But y'all have to remember too, there's new people that have never seen these videos. And so I appreciate y'all watching the new ones, which we have a lot more of, and the old ones. We'll see you next time.